You're a visual artist. You've been working for years and years and years perfecting your technique, developing your style, and creating a cohesive body of work. And then you sit and you think to yourself, maybe it's time to get out there and get into an art fair or two. So you apply to one art fair, you get rejected. You apply to another one, rejection. Just when you're losing all hope, you apply to one and you get accepted. You go, girl or guy or whatever. So you're excited, you can't wait, you're ecstatic. And then the high wears down and you start to think to yourself, oh no, I've never sold my work before. How am I gonna sell my work? What do I do? Well, lucky for you, I've been in the game for about 10 years now and I've learned a little thing or two about sales. So in this video, I'm gonna give you some pointers on how to make money and sell your art at art fairs. You gotta have a cohesive body of work. There's gonna be hundreds, if not thousands of people at this art show. They're gonna be browsing, looking from booth to booth. If you have like millions of things in your booth, like pet portraits, florals, human portraits, landscapes, you're gonna confuse them. You may be thinking, oh, well, if I have all of this stuff, I can like appeal to more people. But that is not the case. More than likely, they'll get overwhelmed and walk on to the next booth. Remember, you're at an art fair, so you're not necessarily competing with other artists. Well, you kind of are. You're competing with a bunch of other artists to make the sale. So you wanna have your vision clear and concise and get to the point so people know what you're all about. So the next step is doing the research. You really wanna research the market of the art fair. So for example, some art fairs they're in Canada, in Muskoka, which is like cottage country. For a show like that, I really think that like a lot of landscapes and like woodsy kind of like earthy kind of artwork does really well. But if you go to, let's say, Toronto, the Artist Project or something like that, I think portraits and abstracts and like anything kind of like avant-garde or like anything a little more edgy would do really well at those shows. Not to say that landscapes and stuff wouldn't do well there and vice versa, but you just kind of want to target your work towards the market. So at every show you go to, you want to have a variety of different size paintings. You're gonna have some people that come in that have huge walls that want like these big pieces, but you're also gonna have people that come by that love your work and really want to support you, but they don't have a lot of room in their house. They have like a really tiny apartment or whatever, and they just want something little. So at the Artist Project, for example, it's really, really good at a show like that to have like a big variety of different sizes. So maybe with the smallest being a 6x6 and then going up to like a 48x48, or even bigger than that. Whereas if you do more of like a craft market type show, you want to stick kind of like on the smaller scale. So maybe, let's say the largest piece you would have there would be like a 18x24 or something like that. And then you would want to have a lot of like 6x6, 8x10. Another thing that sells really well at like little craft markets are prints and stickers. So it'd be good to bring a few of those. So this might be actually the most important thing. You gotta have a very professional setup. So think of when you go to like a gallery, right? There's white walls, and then you have like a piece of artwork. There's nothing around it distracting it. The artwork just looks beautiful. It can stand on its own for you to admire it. You kind of wanna replicate that, but in your booth. So have the walls very simple. You can do cage walls, mesh walls. You could build your own walls with like wood or whatever. But the main thing is you really don't want to overcrowd your booth. Like you don't want to have every piece of art you've ever created in there ready to sell. You want to be very selective and only show your best pieces. Put a price tag on your work. Some artists don't do that. They like people to come up and engage with them and ask them how much their pieces are. But you know, that could fail if the artist is on a break, if the artist is talking to someone else, or if you just have someone come in your booth that's completely shy and doesn't want to talk to you. They'll kind of get scared and like run away, you know? You gotta have a great attitude and you need to engage with your potential buyers. Which brings me to another point. Do not be judgmental. Because, you know, you could have someone coming in that like looks like they're like super rich and sophisticated and they're like ready to spend money, but then not buy anything. And you could have someone come in that looks like a homeless bum that, you know, didn't shave in like 10 years and you're like, oh, whatever, this guy's not gonna buy anything, and he'll buy your most expensive piece. You never wanna judge anyone, and you always just wanna keep an open mind and welcome everyone into your booth. Now, I know some people aren't like as chatty as I am, but it's always good to just like make eye contact and say hello. Just let people know you're there. Let people know that you're ready to talk to them if they have any questions, and you'll be good to go. A little hello goes a very long way. So never be afraid to try and make a sale. Like you're there to sell your work, right? So if someone comes in, they're like, oh, I like this piece. It's very nice, blah, blah, blah. Kind of like engage them a little bit. Be like, well, where do you have room for it in your house? Oh, well, you have a big couch? That would look nice over your couch. Oh, you got a little desk? Oh, that would look nice on your desk. Kind of like get the thought in their head, get the wheels turning a little bit for them. If you don't bring business cards to your show, like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? You gotta bring business cards. There'll be tons of people coming through your booth. Some people will be ready to buy, some people won't be. Some people will like your work, but not see something they like in particular. They might want to commission you to do something. How are they gonna do that if they don't have your information? You gotta have a business card. I like to use a company called Moo. They have beautiful cards. You can put your artwork on the front, all your info on the back, email, name, whatever, Instagram, YouTube, yada, 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 all that stuff. Anywhere they can reach you, you wanna make yourself available for them. And how are you gonna make money if you don't have a way to get paid? Make sure you're ready to accept different types of payment. So like back in the day, before like phones were like a thing and like, you know, credit cards or whatnot, people had little like cash boxes. I still bring one to this day. I've never really used it, so I should probably stop bringing it. Cash boxes for me don't really make sense because I do make larger scale work that's a little bit more expensive. So, you know, people won't be carrying like a couple $1,000s around with them. But if you do smaller work, if you do smaller work, it's really good to have a cash box. People will come by, they'll have like maybe $50 cash on them and your piece will be, let's say, $40. You gotta give them $10 change, right? You gotta make them happy. So cash box is key for smaller work and like maybe like those little craft market shows that I was talking about. But for larger shows or just if you make larger, more expensive work in general, you wanna get the little square chip reader thing. That is very important. You need to have that with you and you need to be able to accept that. Another thing I've seen people do now is just accept e-transfers. Most people like having like proof of buying something, like a receipt. So I stick to Square for the most part. So my very last and final tip, I didn't get to experience this until this year really, but it's good to be pregnant. I made a lot of sales while I was pregnant, not gonna lie. Everyone loves a pregnant woman. Everyone loves a new baby coming into the world, right? So if you have the means, get pregnant. You'll sell more work.